For years, the electric vehicle race seemed simple. A few massive companies dominated the conversation. In the United States, Tesla captured headlines with futuristic technology and long-range EVs. In Japan, Toyota remained the giant of hybrid engineering, slowly preparing for a full electric future. And in China, BYD exploded into the spotlight by rapidly producing millions of electric cars. Most people believed the future of electric vehicles would be shaped by these giants alone. But while the world was busy watching Tesla unveil new features and investors debate the next battery breakthrough, something unusual was happening quietly in the background. A Chinese automaker that many people outside the industry rarely talked about suddenly introduced a small electric car that shocked the market. The car wasn't a luxury sedan. It wasn't a high-performance EV capable of racing supercars. Instead, it was something far simpler, a compact electric car designed for everyday people. And the most surprising part wasn't the design, it was the price. Reports suggested that the new compact EV could start at around $15,000 in China. For many experts, that number sounded almost unbelievable. Even today, producing a fully electric vehicle at that price is incredibly difficult. Yet suddenly, this small car began capturing attention around the world. Because if an EV can truly be sold at that price, the entire electric car market could change faster than anyone expected. But to understand why this small EV has created such a buzz, we need to look at the bigger picture of the global EV race. And the story becomes far more interesting than it first appears. Over the past decade, the automotive industry has gone through one of the biggest transformations in its history. For more than 100 years, gasoline engines dominated the world's roads. Every major automaker focused on improving combustion engines, refining fuel efficiency, and squeezing more power out of petrol and diesel. But now, the entire industry is shifting. Instead of competing over engine size and fuel economy, companies are now racing to build better batteries, smarter software, and more efficient electric motors. In this new technological battle, a few companies quickly became the center of attention. Tesla led the charge by proving that electric cars could be fast, desirable, and profitable. Toyota continued building millions of hybrid vehicles while preparing for the EV transition. And Chinese giant BYD expanded at an incredible speed, producing electric vehicles at a scale that surprised the entire industry. For years, analysts believed the future of electric cars would revolve around these major players. News outlets constantly reported on who had the longest range, who was building the most factories, and which company was winning the EV race. But the world of technology has a funny habit. Sometimes the biggest changes don't come from the companies everyone is watching. Sometimes they come from somewhere unexpected, and that's exactly where Geely entered the story. While attention stayed fixed on Tesla and other well-known automakers, Geely quietly built one of the largest automotive groups in the world. Many people outside the industry don't realize just how powerful the company has become. Geely began as a relatively modest automaker in China decades ago, but over time, it expanded aggressively, investing in technology, global partnerships, and international brands. Eventually, the company made a move that shocked the auto world. It acquired Volvo Cars. Volvo had long been respected as one of the safest and most technologically advanced automakers in the world. When Geely purchased the Swedish company, it sent a clear message to the global auto industry. This wasn't just another regional Chinese car company. It was becoming a serious global automotive group. But the expansion didn't stop there. Geely also invested in the legendary British sports car company Lotus, a brand known for building lightweight performance machines. Today, the company has stakes in multiple global brands and operates an enormous automotive network. That means Geely isn't just building cars. It's building an entire automotive ecosystem. Luxury vehicles, performance cars, electric platforms, battery research, and software development are all part of the company's growing strategy. And recently, that strategy produced something unexpected, a very small electric car. At first glance, the EX2 compact EV looks simple. It's not designed to compete with luxury vehicles or futuristic electric flagships. The car is compact, practical, and clearly designed for city driving. Its size makes it easy to maneuver through crowded streets and narrow roads. Parking becomes easier in dense urban areas where space is limited. The design follows the typical styling of modern electric cars, with smooth lines and a simplified front end that doesn't require a large grille. It isn't trying to look aggressive or futuristic. Instead, it focuses on practicality. And that may actually be the point. Because throughout automotive history, some of the biggest revolutions didn't start with expensive cars. They started with small ones. Decades ago, vehicles like the Volkswagen Beetle brought mobility to millions of people who had never owned a car before. Later, compact hatchbacks transformed how people drove in crowded cities around the world. And now, many analysts believe the same pattern may happen with electric cars. Luxury EVs may dominate headlines, but affordable electric cars could ultimately reshape the entire market. That's why the EX2's price has created such intense discussion. If the reports are correct and the vehicle truly starts around $15,000 in China, it places the car in a completely different category from most EVs available today. Even the most affordable electric vehicles in many countries still cost $20,000 or more. Many popular EVs easily exceed $30,000. Tesla's vehicles are technologically impressive, but they remain out of reach for many buyers. So when people hear about a fully electric car priced this low, one question immediately comes to mind. How is it even possible? The answer leads to the most important part of any electric vehicle: the battery. In most EVs, the battery pack is the single most expensive component in the entire vehicle. If battery costs are high, the car itself becomes expensive. But if battery costs drop, the entire vehicle can become far more affordable. That's where new battery technology enters the picture. Many experts believe that the EX2 compact EV likely uses lithium iron phosphate batteries, often called LFP batteries. This type of battery chemistry has been gaining popularity over the past few years because it eliminates the need for certain expensive materials. Traditional lithium batteries often require metals like cobalt and nickel, which can be costly and difficult to source. LFP batteries use a different chemical composition that reduces reliance on those materials. The result is a battery that is cheaper to manufacture while also offering strong safety benefits. LFP batteries are generally more resistant to overheating, making them attractive for companies focused on affordability and reliability. In fact, several major EV manufacturers have already begun adopting this technology for many of their vehicles. But the battery itself is only part of the story. The real advantage may come from something much bigger: China's manufacturing ecosystem. Over the past 2 decades, China has built one of the most powerful electric vehicle supply chains in the world. Many of the essential components required for EV production are manufactured within a massive industrial network. Battery cells, battery packs, electric motors, power electronics, and control systems are all produced at an enormous scale. Because many of these components are manufactured within the same country, companies can dramatically reduce logistics costs and supplier delays. Instead of importing expensive parts from different continents, manufacturers can source components from nearby factories. This level of integration gives Chinese automakers a powerful cost advantage, and it's one of the key reasons companies like Geely can attempt to produce electric vehicles at such competitive prices. But another interesting part of this story involves where the car was introduced outside of China, Australia. At first, that choice might seem unusual. When people think about electric vehicle markets, they usually imagine China, Europe, or the United States. But Australia has quietly become a growing EV market in recent years. Electric vehicle adoption has been increasing rapidly as consumers become more interested in new technologies and governments expand charging infrastructure. Another important factor is that Australia imports most of its vehicles. Local car manufacturing has largely disappeared over the years, meaning the market is already accustomed to international brands. That makes it easier for new companies to enter the market. Many automakers see Australia as a useful testing ground for new vehicles and technologies. If a car performs well there, it can provide valuable feedback before expanding into additional markets. For Geely, launching a compact and affordable EV in Australia may serve exactly that purpose. If the car proves successful, it could open doors to other markets across Asia, Europe, and beyond. But when you step back and look at the entire picture, the story becomes even bigger, because this isn't just about one car. It's about strategy. China's EV industry has been expanding at an incredible pace, and many companies are working toward the same long-term goal: controlling as much of the electric vehicle ecosystem as possible.